Am I live? I think I'm live. New events live. Streaming on both. Hey, hey! All right. So I'm live on Twitch. Am I live on YouTube? We're going to click on one. I don't want to ruin any of these, so we're going to go click on something unrelated. 3 weeks ago. We're going to click on the Dawn Trail job actions. I'm live on YouTube as well. All right. It's very loud. We have sound. We have sound. Okay, that was what we didn't have with Restream, with StreamYards. Okay, that was very loud. I remember thinking that about the actual thing. Like when. Okay, great, and I can see chat on both sides. Right here. Good. I don't have a way of like making that easier to see. But I can put it here, I guess, and then make this. I need a third monitor. I only have 2 of my monitors set up right now. So I have my low monitor and the above, but I'd like to have the left one. So I think get that live and then see if stream is stable. And if stream is stable, we will we'll jump over. I'll restart it with the proper stream titles, and so we're just hanging out right now, seeing if it's stable, and then we're gonna go over all this media tour stuff. I think there's been like, I don't know how many interviews there are to find. Less than last time. So, Brad, how are you? All right. So I am going to leave this running while I get the cables here set up, because the goal is just to see if this software is stable. Mediator is up. Mediator, all embargoes lifted this morning, like 2 hours ago, almost 3 hours ago. Okay. Great. So I need a monitor cable for that. And I need it to be ideally DVI. Does it matter? Yeah, I need a DVI and a monitor power cable. Oh, see, and that's why we're testing. Because why did it do that? Why is it flickering? Are you guys flickering? This is why we test. No signal. I have no video signal. Okay. Did you guys flicker at all? I just got a ton of flickering. Like, screens went black. All right, stand by. I lost power for a week last week. So 5 days, 4 days, something like that, 4.5 days. So like everything is disheveled in my house. We had a big storm hit the DFW area, and there were people still without power. So like, it's fine. So it was just when I walked over here. Was it me? It's fine now. Yeah, but it wasn't. All right. Based on what time I went to bed, that's when I'm supposed to be awake. But I've been awake for 2.5 hours. Okay. This room is a mess still. This is the new layout. I've got the TV and the consoles. I've still got tools and stuff here because I'm still hanging everything. And I've got all my cables here from taking it all down. Get power. Power would be victory. My cam's not flickering. The screen is, which is usually the GPU picking up connected monitors. If my GPU dies, I'm probably gonna cry. Hopefully it's just warming up. I bought my GPU in 2020? 2020? Neflarion, hello. Did I rearrange my stream room? Yes. The goal is for this to be complete by June 28th. Just to show you. So on this side, I've got my nerd wall above the TV. That used to be the green wall behind where I streamed. And then it goes over all the way to like I've got a sprint fitness bike over there. And all my Warhammer stuff all piled up. So it's a giant mess. It's a giant mess. But it feels a lot bigger outside of the giant pile of crap in the middle. I've been trying to purge as I go through. And then I am in the closet. So I took the doors off the closet. It's like a double sliding door closet. And I inserted the desk into that. That's actually how I pulled my back when I did that. Because I was trying to lift my streaming desk by myself. I'll tell you, if you're going to pull your back moving furniture, the way to do it is I pulled my back with the final shove. So like, my wife was like, well, do you need help moving it now? I'm like, no. It's exactly where I wanted it to be. But I felt it pop like a rubber band. So, you know, don't do that. All right. So it's usually GPU. Well, let's hope that was just like a one-time thing. Right? We're going to just ignore it. Like not going to the doctor when you don't feel well. If I just ignore it, it'll go away. So this is just a test stream. We're testing stability. And then I will take it down and go live so that we have one clean broadcast for the history. So any of you that have to duck out if you have notifications on, you'll know when I have it all working. I'm like an Asmongold right now. There's like trash right here from everything I've like eaten during game nights and stuff with friends. It's just a giant, disgusting mess. Okay, I have power. And it turned on. Good, that monitor still works. Great. These two monitors have not been on in months. Well, and I don't know which, they weren't in the original order. When I took them down, I didn't keep track of which one was which. just need to know where I put the DVI cables. Well, there's one. Look at this pretty white one. Why do I have a pretty white one? It's so pretty. Hey, Fido. Okay. Scan emails have gotten more intense. Yes, you're supposed to have like a safe word with your family now, like a phrase that tells them it's really you. Something you could say in conversation. So like that you really look forward to seeing, like a dead pet, or like a food that you really like that you don't really like, or like something that they would know something's wrong. All right, Spara, you'll check out for the highlight. Yes. The whole goal today is to get through all the interviews that we can find, summarize, kind of get all their questions together, and then we'll put them in categories. That way all the like battle related things. I've heard a couple things about how the format was. I was not there. So it should be simpler this year than last year. And then we'll talk about my thoughts on that as well. Media Tour was run a lot different. It's run different every time. Every time is a brand new way to run a media tour. Okay, so I think from here, I need to disconnect primary monitor 1. I think that's the right call. No, you don't need to. Oh, because I'm a genius. Oh, past me, you are a hero. Oh, a savior. Absolutely brilliant. I thought I'd already used my HDMI, and I was like, why would I do that? The HDMI is the easiest cable to have the longest, because like I have a million super long HDMIs. Okay, like this is like a 25 or 30 foot HDMI, and I really just needed like 7 feet, but all my, maybe 8, but all my DVIs are like 5 and 6 feet, so they won't reach across the desk to the far monitor. Oh, wow. All right. Now we're cooking. I don't know if this makes this noisy for you guys. Preach and Quasi showed up like in my feed this morning. We predicted the media tour date last stream before I lost all the power. And so I kind of knew to be keeping an eye out for it. Also, just like you guys, I'm capable of seeing all the hints on Twitter. But I didn't have a time. I didn't have a time of day. And I couldn't remember if it was super early or not. And I was getting breakfast, and I opened YouTube to just like watch a YouTube video or two. And my whole feed is just nothing but like Whoops and Jesse Cox and Preach and Quasi. And I didn't scroll, but I assume there's others. Oh, come on. Are we live? Oh. I hear the GPU firing up. Come on. Is that it? It's just a black screen right now. Why is it a black screen? Stand by. Oh. Oh, you are in a weird spot. Let's disconnect this DVI because that's probably confusing it. Maybe not. Advanced display settings. How do I just get to... There they are. Okay, so I can see monitors 1 and 2. I don't know why it thinks monitor 2 is smaller now. Why can I not see monitor 3? Oh, probably because it's set to like DVI or something. So let's set it to HDMI. I bet it was just statistically likely that I put a DVI in a DVI, but one of these is set to HDMI. My monitors have 2 HDMI inputs. Wow, that's really fancy. Yeah. What the odds this cable's not good? I don't know which one I plugged it in. How come it can't auto detect? That feels silly. Okay. Got power. Let's try plugging into the other one. Now that we know there's more than one. Oh, didn't like that. So I can't get the monitor to actually enable. So the GPU picks it up and detects it as a display and is like totally mucked with where my mouse is. Okay. Farmer Girl, good morning. You might need to right click and go into display settings. I'm in display settings now. That's what this is. And I don't know why it has one as a different size. Oh, there it goes. So I should be able to say 1680 by 1050. That made it worse. Why is display 2 not 1080p anymore? Why? Why is it not? It's in 1050. That is so dumb. You have to push the button directed to the monitors. Okay. $10.50. That's not even like a real... What? How common is a 1050 monitor? It's those extra 30 rows. It's the extra 30 pixels that get you, you know? I mean, 30 times 1680. But, you know. Alright, so that HDMI cable seems shot. That's okay, because I have a second one that is also very, very long. It'd be great if I had one that was just like 10 feet long. This is like unmanageably long. But that's not going to reach. So like six or 7's not going to reach. But I don't think I have any in-betweens. Yeah, I think all my other HDMI cables are like just over. They're 6s and 8s. like 1050. I assume that's a bad DVI cable, but we'll deal with that in a minute. Right now, that monitor's working, so that's not the monitor I'm upset at. Like that. Okay. Round 2. This is so dumb. There we go. Monitor flicker. Yeah, it should be. There should be a brief flicker every time I plug in a new cable. That should be normal. Like, that's fine. Doesn't weird me out. Because I'm causing that one. It's the one when I was, 7 feet away from the keyboard that I was concerned with. So we're going to get another one here in a minute. I don't know what these say. Why would you write it in... Okay. Okay, so it's HDMI 1. HDMI 2. Let's do HDMI 1. All right. HDMI 1. Yes! Oh. Great. Identify. Number 3. Number 3 picks up as 1080. So we're going to watch videos in number 3. Because that's... Wait. Hey, all right. So we're going to close that, and then we're going to move you guys to seeing... My primary is going to be moved to number 3. Wrong one. That one. Wow, Mop Remix. But the frogs. But the frogs. All right. So many frogs. So now I should be able to bring your chat right here. And it should look like a tiny bit more natural. Because right now I'm reading chat and it should look like I'm looking at you, as opposed to when I check the stream and I'm looking into the sky. And then this is the video, which should be correct because the video is on my left and you see it. This is good. Am I a Frogger? No. I didn't even have power the last week. I have not played many games at all in the last 2 weeks. I've played some Age of Empires. I've done a lot of time on my phone. Played some Age of Empires last night. I had a chance to hell dive a couple times, but I haven't really had a lot of MMO time. Okay, so we're gonna go back down and try this job action trailer and make sure this is all working. You guys should be able to hear this when it kicks in. Right? It's so weird having this in a different resolution. Because you guys look like big and blurry. Yes, loud. So, okay, great. Fantastic, because we want it to be people's voice. Hearing, feeling, thinking. Thank you. Okay, perfect. I think that's everything. So, I'm going to drink this water. Because I've been awake for 2 hours and I hadn't finished one glass of water. I'm going to drink this water. I'm going to go refill it. I wish there was a way to click you guys onto screen like there is in Streamlabs. And I found a plugin that I think may do it. So we'll take a look. I don't have any notifications either. It was much louder than me, though. Oh. Intriguing. All right. We'll mess with volume a little more, but I made an adjustment. Okay. Thank you. And then I'm going to come back live just so it's one clean segment. And we're going to start going through all the Media Tour stuff. For any of you that have not watched the... for any of you that have not watched Media Tour coverage with me in the past, I'll go over this again in a minute, but I've been to 2 Media Tours. Okay. So this should be better. I'll try to speak into the mic more directly. I have been to 2 Media Tours in the past. I was not invited to this one. The list was much smaller, so like I'm not upset. There were a lot of people not invited, but they're all run differently, and they historically have been a time when there's a lot of interviews that go live all at once. So what we're going to need to do is what Neflarion just said. We're going to need to have a spreadsheet, because when you have multiple interviews given to multiple people over multiple locations over multiple weeks, what can happen is, let's say somebody asks, what is your feeling going into Dawn Trail on pruning abilities? Are we going to see abilities removed from lower level jobs? Because that doesn't feel good. If it's an English speaker, the question's going to be really long because we have to basically speak to a translator. So we tend to say like a whole paragraph so that there's a lot of context. And then it tends to come back as a whole paragraph. As opposed to when we read Japanese outlets through a translator, it'll be much more conversational, where they'll ask a little bit of a question. Yoshi will ask for clarity. They'll clarify. He'll ask for a little more clarity. They'll clarify, and then we'll get an answer. And so it tends to be a little more back and forth. This is still the test stream. But what'll then happen is there will be a second question that'll say like, are you guys considering doing anything to make lower level gameplay feel better? Which is a different question. It's 2 different questions, but they are related to each other. So having both answers can help us kind of get some context that maybe one answer on its own didn't give. So even when I've been invited to the Media Tours, I've still wanted to do this exercise because I only got to hear answers in my interview. And it's interesting to see if there's something similar. Before we got our little Mythic Plus equivalent, our Criterion dungeons, every single Media Tour there was 1 or more questions about Mythic Plus. So there are a lot of people that like to credit Asmongold with bringing Mythic Plus to the game, even though Asmongold never made it to max level. But actually, that was something that had been asked about and talked about for many, many years prior. So there are impacts on the game from all the people that came in, but like, I don't think that's one of them. Also, I don't think they spun that whole system up in a matter of like, what, 2 months? Come on. All right. So that seems good. Stream seems to be working. We're live on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm going to go ahead and take it down, refill my water. We're going to come back and get started. I don't really have a starting point, so we're just going to follow the YouTube algorithm, and we're going to document everywhere we've been throughout the day, and the goal will be to catch them all. So if anybody comes in late, we'll be able to go over everybody we've already talked about, and then if anybody has suggestions, we'll be able to kind of cross-reference that and ideally get it. I already see that there are people who had never been before, and people who have been in the past, so it should be a nice little mix. It'll just be a lot less people than when the media tour was digital. See you guys in a bit.